Alrighty, guys, gals, non-binary pals, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today we are going to be watching a video from Jubilee. If you're not familiar with the channel, they do a lot of, I guess you would call it like social experiments, or they do a lot of like these ranking type videos, or like these videos where they just bring strangers into a room and they ask them questions, or they ask them to do certain things and stuff like that. We've talked about them before in the past. They're a pretty big channel here on YouTube. But this video in particular is really interesting to me, and I think that there's going to be a lot of people watching this video that will feel some type of way from watching this video. So the title of this video is Strangers Rank Themselves by Weight, and this whole series is called Blindfolded versus Reality. So what they'll do is they'll bring like a few strangers into a room, have them blindfolded the whole time, and then they will ask them certain questions, people will answer, and then they'll kind of rank themselves based on that. So the whole premise of this video is we are going to ask you questions about health, fitness, stuff like that, and then everyone together is going to decide who's the lightest and who's the heaviest. So that's kind of the basic premise of the video, but without further ado, let's get started.
If you had to rank yourself against others based on a specific trait, what would it say about how you see them and how they see you?
To find out, we brought together 6 people, blindfolded them, and had them rank each other based on their perceived weight. Then, we rearranged them based on their actual weight.
This is ranking.
I have a sweet tooth, but I love vegetables.
So I would be incredibly, it would feel really weird to do this, right? Like, because I feel like as just in general, it's seen as taboo to, you know, make any sort of assumption on this, right? And so I would be really curious as to how I would feel in this particular situation, and I wonder how I would do. I really have no idea. It's such an interesting concept to me, though.
And fruit.
I'm actually vegetarian, but I also have a major sweet tooth.
I also partake in the sweet tooth.
I mean, I have a sweet tooth too.
Man, I mean, I don't know. I think it's, if you don't have a sweet tooth, I don't trust you. I mean, that's all I'm going to say.
Is anybody here on a strict diet?
I was on the keto diet. It was tough because, you know, you limit yourself specifically on carbs, right? But once I saw like the numbers on the scale, I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. Yeah, I did it for 2 years, and you know,
2 years is a long time to go keto.
Time. Like my doctor's like, you should not do this. Like,
I tried to be vegetarian.
So keto, oh man, that's something that is always brought up, especially, you know, when we're talking about weight loss. I think keto has a place and it can be helpful. Man, I'm gonna make people upset, but like when it comes to keto and my thoughts on it, I've talked about this in videos before, but keto does work, right? But the reason keto works, in my opinion, is that it helps people be in a caloric deficit. The reason being is that you are cutting out, for the most part, an entire macronutrient, right? You're pretty much cutting out carbs, and so you have an entire macronutrient that is no longer there. Therefore, you are in a deficit. Therefore, you are losing weight. And then on top of that, with keto, a lot of people, and again, if you're doing keto and it's working for you, I'm not saying stop doing keto. Do whatever you want, okay? But I'm just saying, for the people that maybe have a lot of friends that are recommending them to start doing keto or things like that, right? A lot of people see great results at the very start of doing keto because they cut out carbs and they lose a bunch of water weight right at the start, and they see these results very, very quickly. And so they see that and they're like, oh, keto is the only way. And that's the issue I have, is that a lot of people that are very into keto make it seem like keto is the only way that they can lose weight, and it's the only way that other people can lose weight, which is what I disagree with. So that's my main gripe with keto. If keto works for you, that's great. It's just when people start to treat it as the only way to lose weight is to when I feel like it gets kind of, you know, dangerous, or, you know, I just disagree with it.
Ran for 2 years, but I'm like anemic, so yeah, so I get a little dizzy sometimes.
I think any sort of restrictive diet, I had like a past with like EDs and stuff like that, so I went from vegan to plant-based basically to make it like a less of a, I don't know, toxic kind of feeling, but I know people can do it without it being an issue.
I might be.
That's an interesting point right there, right? Because a lot of people, when we talk about veganism, you know, that it can be a problem for someone that struggles with EDs, right? Just like anything can, just like keto could be, just like counting your calories, counting your macros. A lot of people have, a lot of if we talk about the Health at Every Size movement, they have a big issue with really tracking at all or any type of diet because it can be dangerous for those that struggle with EDs. But at the end of the day, there are tons of people that are vegan, that are plant-based, that are keto, that are counting their macros, that don't struggle with EDs, right? And so it's really important for you to understand yourself. What is is this causing me to stumble? Is this causing me to, fall back into maybe really bad habits, whether that's an ED or what have you? And it's important to understand that for yourself and not, and this is important, and we were kind of talking about it with keto, not put your experience above someone else's and say that because I experienced this is everybody's experience, right? It's just not how it works.
Generalizing here, especially in America, I think there's a definitely food addiction problem. And I definitely have felt it in my life, just overindulging a lot.
I grew up in 2 different households. So my dad's side, he always cooked, and then we had to eat more vegetables. You go to my mom's side and she works all day, so she doesn't cook. And I usually ended up getting McDonald's or something over there.
Like the convenience thing, yeah.
I think.
Yeah, so for me growing up, I've talked about this before, but basically a single mother household. We really didn't have much money. We were poor. There's no other way to put it. Very poor. And there was a good amount of kids in the house, and my mom, she worked a lot. And so that was my experience as well. We would go out to eat, but that actually wouldn't happen very often. We would just have to eat really cheap food. So Hamburger Helper, chicken and rice with cream of mushroom soup on it, chili. My mom would make this thing called Frito chili pie, which I don't know how many of you guys know what this is, but basically it was Fritos, the chips. You would put that on the bed of a pan or something like that, pour chili over it, pour cheese on top of it. And that was a delicacy to us. And so that was the types of food that we ate. And I think I've always kind of attributed the way that we ate, I think became a problem for me. And it's still something I struggle with because I still eat incredibly fast because we would never, I don't want to say never, but it was not very often that we would sit and eat food as a family. It was my mom would make food and then we just went and got it. And so if you wanted seconds, I started to realize the faster I eat, the more chance I have of getting seconds and thirds. And so I just started eating really fast. But certainly convenience, it would be for us, it was a really big deal if we could go to Jack in the Box and get a jumbo jack, And so I don't know, I can relate to that.
I think food, when I was younger, a lot of it can be seen as a coping mechanism. If you were someone who might be experiencing some kind of, trauma or, even just elementary, just being bullied and stuff like that, it's just such an easy thing to just find pleasure in.
The comforting thing.
Exactly,
yeah.
It's super comforting.
Also rewarding. If I had a good work day or something like that, I'd be I deserve Starbucks. Yeah. And it's you can't do that every time.
100%, man. I can relate to that so hard. Feeling it was food became my coping mechanism for every single emotion, not just anger or sadness. It was happiness, everything, right? If I had a good day, oh cool, I'm gonna celebrate by eating whatever Mexican food, whatever it was, right? If I had a bad day, I would go and drown my sorrows in Mexican food or whatever. I lived next to a Mexican food place, so I would go there a lot. But anything, right? I would go to 7-Eleven, get a double gulp, which is literally 2 liters of soda and chips, and that would be a snack, right? It was just food was how I celebrated and how I dealt with bad emotions as well. And that obviously really became a problem for me over time.
But that's the hard part about it, right? You want to reward with it, you want to punish with it. It's everywhere.
I feel since I've become vegetarian, it's definitely limited my access to certain junk foods. I think a big reason as to why I became vegetarian was to help manage my weight.
My boyfriend.
That's really interesting there because you certainly can be vegetarian and still struggle with your weight. But again, it's with anything, right? Any diet that has you restricting a certain type of food, especially if that food is high in calories, that's probably going to help you lose weight, right? And that can be a problem. That could also be great. It really depends on the person.
Friend is vegan, but I would never be able to be vegan. And then he wants me to cook for him. I'm oh Jesus.
What do I use?
What's y'all's relationship with activity? Do you do it to look a certain way, or do you do it because you enjoy it?
Because I'm anemic, sometimes I feel so dizzy already. And I know that if I work out, I'm just gonna feel like crap the rest of the day. But I do want abs, you know what I'm saying? I don't have the kind of discipline that a lot of people do when it comes to working out.
Like, if you view it as discipline though, like, I feel like maybe viewing it as a way of like, I don't know, like a fun activity versus like, I want abs kind of thing.
That's such a good point right there. Like that, it's interesting because when we're talking about really big people that are trying to lose weight, a lot of times exercise can be a punishment, but it's like, I want to become healthier. And like, those are the things that you hear a lot about. But when we're talking about people that are already, you know, relatively thin or people call straight sized, and they use exercise as almost like this punishment because they want to get abs or they want to get these things. And so I feel, I could be wrong, but I feel like I hear that sentiment a lot more in people that either don't need to lose much weight or already, you know, don't really need to lose any weight. Maybe they just want to have some sort of body recomposition.
I think that's like spot on, because like for years I've been going to the gym and forcing myself to, and I've absolutely hated it. But over the since September of last year, I'm at the gym 7 days a week, 3 to 5 hours a day.
My particular thing is weightlifting.
3 to 5 hours a day is a long time. I'm just that is a long time to be at the gym. 5 hours at the gym? No, thank you.
Cardio is something I've never been friends with.
Rich, how often do you say you go to the gym?
Now?
I just love the way now. Well, okay, give me a second here.
I would say probably 2 to 3 days, just because my motivation hasn't been on par.
Would you say like, were you portraying that in your food as well? Because like I go to the gym a lot, but I'll go home and eat pasta, right?
Oh, I got you. No,
I was a swimmer for like 10 years and then I got like jobs and all that stuff, and I didn't work out for 2 years, and I got into pole dancing, which I've been doing for like 2 years now. So I got like refit again, it feels like.
As a mail carrier, I would say that I'm moving pretty much all day. I usually hit the gym and I'm there about.
Dude, I can only imagine like people that have, because I'm a freaking YouTuber, right? I stand here. This is the activity I get for my job, right? But like people that have really active jobs, I don't think people understand how big of your TDEE, your total daily energy expenditure, can come from just having a very active job, whether that's being a mail carrier, whether that's, you know, doing drywall or doing concrete work or doing, you know, just being outside all day. Like all of that will increase the amount of calories you burn daily so much. And on the flip side, if you have a job where you're incredibly sedentary, that is going to change how many calories you need to eat to lose weight, or just the amount of calories you need to eat to continue to stay the same weight, right? A lot of people will, like, they go over the numbers of someone. They're like, well, this person is the same height and weight as me, and they this many calories, and they work out less than me, or whatever it might be. But it's like, are you taking into account how many steps a day that person is taking? Are you taking into account how active that person's job is? All of that stuff really, really matters. So the fact that this guy is a freaking mail carrier, so he's probably taking, I don't even know, thousands and thousands and thousands of steps a day and working out every day, it's pretty commendable, I'm going to be honest.
5 or 6 times a week, and just my entire life I've always played sports, so I've always been pretty active.
So it says here, now they must rank each other from least to most perceived weight, for those that aren't watching.
Based off of the fact that I believe I might be taller than Sabrina, I think she should move to the right of me.
Okay.
So this is interesting. So again, they don't know what these people next to them look like. And so something that I noticed was a lot of times they would talk about height, right? Which is actually, it's a pretty good way to go about it, because if you don't know how big someone is, you can kind of maybe perceive how tall they might be, especially on their voice. And it's also a little bit less scary than being like, yeah, I'm going to be on the left of this person because this person seems really fat and I'm definitely skinnier than them, right? Like, I would not want to be that person saying that stuff.
I don't think I should be the lightest, is what I'm saying.
No. I don't think so either. I think, was it Layla? Yeah. I think you should be.
Yeah, I think you need to be.
All the way where Steve is.
Why do you think I should be over there?
Because you are, aren't you vegetarian?
Vegetarian? Hey, come on now.
I was gonna go based off of like, basically you sound small, but like not in a bad way.
Do you get cold?
I get cold a lot.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you don't have meat probably.
Insulated.
Coming into it, I knew that I was probably gonna be on the far left side.
I think
I would
her
say
and Steven should
Switch us up.
Bye, Steve.
Bye, Sabrina. It's been good standing next
I
to
know.
you. Bye, Rich.
Bye.
Okay, so you're Steve.
Carmen, aren't you vegetarian?
Yeah.
So I think we should switch.
And you did.
So that is interesting to me because I personally don't think I would be interested to see like the data, but like I wouldn't be surprised if vegetarian, vegan, whatever, like if the numbers were normalized, if there really wasn't that big of a difference between being vegetarian or vegan and not being that and like your weight, because you can eat a lot of junk food and be vegan or vegetarian. Like it's completely possible, right?
Dance, right? Oh yeah, you
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah.
I was like hold hands and rotate it.
All right, so I'm next to Sabrina now.
Yes.
Wait, who's next? Who's next to me on my right?
Rich.
Rich? Oh, okay, you're still here.
Still here.
I think we should switch spots.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm just going based off of how tall he sounds.
I would agree with
Yeah.
that.
Who's the one that eats pasta?
That's Steve. I
Yeah,
think it's Steve.
you're all the way to the left.
Yeah, you know
pasta.
what?
Hey man, pasta's good, bro. We shouldn't be hating on pasta, okay?
Mr. Boy, stay down there.
Yeah.
Steve does not need to be at the end.
Based off of what?
Based off
can't
of
tell.
him working out 7 days a week.
Oh, true.
Okay.
Rich said he goes to the gym 2 to 3 times a week,
Yeah.
whereas Steve
At
is a
least
little
they
more
should
active.
switch.
The pasta.
Going up.
So this is interesting. So it's like if you work out more, that their kind of thought process is you are probably smaller, which again, I understand that sentiment, right? That's something that is just, it's very normal to think that, but you certainly can go to the gym a lot, especially if, if you're like a bodybuilder, be freaking 350 pounds, go to the gym, you go to the gym 14 times a week, right? You do 2 a days, but you're absolutely massive. But again, I understand the sentiment, but yeah.
Now who's this?
I'm still next to you.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think we're good down there.
Down where?
Down which way?
I think we're good down to the smaller side.
Okay.
Regardless, you all sound like 7 feet tall. Like I cannot.
Wait, where do you think you should be?
Me?
Sabrina. Yeah.
I don't know.
I think you and Ruben should
I was gonna
switch.
say me and Ruben. I don't know, Ruben.
Let's do it.
I think we look alike.
I would agree with the Sabrina Ruben switch.
Yeah.
Okay, we can do that.
We're literally the same person.
Now who's this?
Hey, Sabrina, how's it going?
Does anyone feel like they're in the wrong spot right now?
I still do.
Man, that would just be a hard situation to be in, right? Because like again, no one knows how big she is. She's the only person that knows that, right? And so I feel for this situation. I would not want to be here in this situation at all.
I think at least Steve and I should switch. At least.
I felt like she was wrong because, again, like just hearing her voice and hearing like her background, I would have never considered her being bigger. So when she was moving herself, I felt like she might have just been, I don't want to say not truthful, but I feel like she was talking down on herself.
Can I say the program that I'm doing? Okay, I'm in a weight loss program. So I'm in a bariatric program in which I'm in the line to do VSG surgery. And that's where they cut off 80% of your stomach to allow you to lose weight. I am in that program, which is why I think I should switch.
Can I say something really quick?
Sure.
Sabrina, I did that program.
What?
Yes, ma'am.
This part right here just like it gave me chills the first time I watched this. Like I was not expecting that 100%. Like I thought, I forget his name, but the guy that just said that, I just assumed, oh, this guy is someone that has been working out his whole life. Like, and so I feel like I'm normally, the thing is I feel like I normally have a pretty good, like gauge of someone that's lost a good amount of weight. I had absolutely no idea. So I was completely caught off guard the first time that I watched this video when he said that. I was like, what? So yeah, I just, whew.
Okay, so tell me guys.
Man, I wanted to take off my mask and hug her. Like, that was wild. You hear someone going through that, and you know what it takes to admit you need that, and you know what it takes to say, I'm doing it for health. You know, screw everything else. This is for my health. I want to move forward. And yeah, when I heard that, it was just like my heart just started flipping. That was weird. Congrats on making that choice, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, I just gotta say that's a
Did
huge.
you actually have the surgery?
Yes, ma'am.
Exactly.
Yes, ma'am.
So
If she feels very adamant about switching positions, I think she knows herself better than we do, obviously.
I think if you want to do it, you can do it.
I think so.
A little do-si-do.
Who is happy with the current order of the line?
I think for the most part.
Now they will be rearranged based on their actual weight.
1, 2, 3.
Oh my god, it's so bright. Hey.
Yo.
What's going on?
No one looks the way I thought they did.
Not at all.
I thought Steven was like 7'5". I'm not gonna lie.
Dude, I thought you were taller than me. I was like trying to. I was gonna say, I don't think we got it wrong.
In spot number 6, we have Layla at 97 pounds.
Oh wow.
In spot number 5, we have Carmen at 138. In spot number 4, we have Ruben at 175. In spot number 3, we have Steven at 220. Spot
So I would be like right in between those two guys. So I weigh 217-ish. So, and I'm 5'8". No one asked, but I just, I wanted to insert myself into this video. I don't know why they didn't ask me to join in, but it's okay.
number 2, we have Sabrina at 309. And in spot number 1, we have Richard at 315.
Got it right.
So they got it right. Congratulations, guys. Hopefully they paid you or something.
Yep, we did.
I never doubted you guys.
So I guess I can reveal this now. So I actually, in the past 4 years, I've lost 150 pounds. I actually used to be 441. So I feel a lot better about myself, and I focus on it like every day.
This video is like the most wholesome thing I have seen in like such a long time. Again, like I would not have guessed that, which people say that to me all the time, and I'm always like, whatever. But I guess I'm that guy now, so whatever.
Mine is a big part of my life now because I want kids and stuff. And you have to be healthy to do so. In general, how I look, like I went to Mexico and even my friends were asking like, why aren't you posting any pictures? And I'm like, girl, because they're ugly. Like I didn't like how any of the pictures were coming out. So I literally came home from Mexico and called the doctor and was like, can I join the program? So.
Yeah, I mean, that is, I'm sure so many people know exactly what that feels like, or seeing a picture, like, I don't know how to explain it, but when I was at my biggest, like, I knew I was big, but I would, like, I think I would just, like, not look in mirrors. Like, I remember I would shower, right? And then the steam would fog up the mirror in the shower, the bathroom, and then I would just, like, clean off just to where I could see my face because I didn't even want to like see my body, right? And it helped me stay almost in denial to a certain extent. But then when I would see photos that I didn't take, because I did not take very many photos of myself, which I don't know, if you follow me on Instagram, you'd say that's insane, but I swear I didn't. And so when I would see pictures, one of the biggest things was I saw photos of a wedding that I went to. I was like, holy crap, dude. Like, I could not believe how big I looked. And it sounds silly, right? Like, if you've never been there, you're like, whatever. Like, how do you not know? But I'm telling you, man, like, there is a difference between you taking a selfie and someone else taking a photo, especially if you don't even know what's happening. And then you see that picture and you're just like... So I can feel exactly how she's feeling in this moment. Like, it's not fun.
You're not ugly, sorry to say
I
that.
was gonna say like, nah, you not ugly.
You're so beautiful.
I don't know why you wouldn't want to post pictures. You're beautiful. I'm not saying like
I understand that she's trying to be nice, but I'm just going to be honest. I would have people say the same thing to me, and I'd be like, bro, I don't want to hear it. Again, I'm sure she's trying to be nice, but...
Because you are trying to lose weight, that inherently shouldn't make you dislike the pictures. Like, I think you're beautiful regardless, but you can do exactly what you want to do with your body. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I used to weigh 450 pounds.
Oh, wow.
Like, look at that. That's insane. 450 pounds, and look how he looks now. Like, Steven, congratulations. If you ever want to chat, send me a message. I'd love to talk.
Yeah, I've been big my whole life. The food addiction thing was what got me, and I spoke about that very, very real. Went sober 3 years ago, got the bariatric 2.5. Quitting food was harder than quitting alcohol, and that shook me. It's just as easy as saying I snapped my leg, I need it to be surgically fixed. I was at a point where my mind and my body were so broken, I needed it to be fixed, and I got that reset button. And the misconception that I hate is that it's the easy way out, but they don't see the hard mental process and what I'm going through now to fix the identity issues I was working through and all this stuff. There's a lot of me still broken from that. I just want.
So this is something that you hear a lot, right? People will say that getting weight loss surgery is the easy way out. And I used to almost fall into that camp because I remember I would never necessarily say that, but I remember I used to have in my bio on Instagram, I used to have like proudly lost 100 pounds naturally, right? And I would put that proudly on there. I removed it quite a few years ago, but I remember I had this thought of like, oh, I did it naturally, so therefore it was harder. Like, obviously surgery exists because it helps. Like, obviously it helps, but that doesn't mean that it makes it easy or makes it like it's not. It's just, oh, you got the surgery and now you don't have to do anything. There are plenty of people that get weight loss surgery that, you know, they lose the weight, but then they gain it back immediately, because if you don't fix those habits, if you don't fix that stuff that is causing you to gain that weight, it does not matter what surgery you get, you will gain that weight back. Like, that's a guarantee. And so if you see someone that's lost weight and they got surgery and you notice yourself almost feeling better, that like you're better than them, right? You're superior to them. I would genuinely say take a step back and really think about why you feel that way, because I promise you, it is not like it was just super easy for them. There were struggles there, and deciding to get surgery is, and this might sound like ridiculous to some people, but it is brave. Like, getting surgery is not a joke, right? Like, surgeries are a big deal, and so deciding that you need to get it done and going through with it, I think, is brave. And I don't think it's for everybody. For the people that do it and they end up seeing the results, I'm glad that they have done it, and I'm glad that they have gone down that route. Like, I'm not sitting here saying that they, they're less than because they got a surgery.
I want to say to you, I feel you were pushing yourself down there. And you too, now that I'm here, I realize I wasn't bad. I realized I wasn't that bad when I was there, you know? So, like, don't think you guys are in the shit right now, right? Like, this is the beautiful part. And I think my view of body positivity is pretty up. Because when I was trying to lose weight, I had everyone here in LA saying, nah, you're beautiful, don't. And I'm like, nah, I'm unhealthy, right? Like, I'm dying. Like, you know, it's not about my beauty.
Right.
I mean, I think we've all heard that before, right? Oh, why would you want to lose weight? You're so pretty. You're so beautiful. You're so this. It's like, okay, that's fine. Whatever, dude. Cool. That's not why I'm doing this, right? Like, I'm doing this because I'm having issues. I'm having, serious medical issues. I want to, like, Sabrina, I think her name is Sabrina, said she wants to have children, and that's not possible for her right now. Like, there are many, 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 many other reasons to want to lose weight that have nothing to do with how you look, right? Yes, it's part of it. Obviously, you change how you look by losing weight. That's just how it works. But that's not the only reason why you'd want to do it.
Right.
Being the lightest one here, I'm like anemic, borderline pre-diabetic. I have a lot of issues just because of like my lifestyle, but I can't necessarily carry the weight.
Just because I worked out a lot, because I did a lot of.
I think that that's really interesting, right? So she kind of talks about how, and this is something that is a problem, it's like smaller equals healthier to a lot of people, and that's just certainly not the case. And so I really, really, really think it's great that they included that in this episode, because that is something that is incredibly important, and I think that I'm just glad that they included that.
Sports, I was always so thin, and when I stopped, so people they always assumed I had like anorexia, like all this like different stuff, and I was fine. I was like eating fine, and then when they stopped making the comments, I thought that I had like blown up basically, and then that I developed like the body dysmorphia, and then I was having like eating disorders, and like when I lost weight doing that, people would compliment me, and like that's like where they equate size to health, and I was like losing hair and like the least healthy I ever was. But since I was small, they were like, oh, like you're healthy.
It's definitely.
That's another really good point. Like, that's why I remember I used to, when I would hear people say like you shouldn't ever compliment someone for losing weight. I'd be like, that's ridiculous. But I do think honestly, so with this, I don't know where I stand. I'm just going to be like 100% right there. I don't know exactly where I stand, but I do understand the argument of like, if you don't know why someone is losing weight, it might not be a good idea to compliment them and kind of reinforce whatever it is that they're doing, because it is certainly possible that the way that they are losing the weight isn't healthy, right? But on the flip side, I know many people that are very excited about the fact that they are losing weight and they are working very hard to make that weight loss happen. I was one of those people, right? And so when people would bring it up to me, it would make me feel really good because I was working really hard to make that happen. And so it's an interesting kind of dichotomy, I guess. I don't know what the answer is. For me, the way I see it is like, you know, if someone messages me and they show me that they are trying to lose weight and they're proud of their progress, of course, I'm like, hey, that's awesome. Congratulations. Great work, right? But if I see someone on the street that I don't really know that well and I've noticed they lost weight, I'm probably not going to bring it up because I don't know why they have lost that weight. That's kind of where I stand on that. But again, I don't have all the answers to that one.
Definitely important you guys find yourself, because as a big guy, I attributed my identity to my size.
Yeah.
And now I'm stuck in therapy trying to find out who I am, right? Because
I've stopped this video so much, but again, like I've been there too, right? My nickname in high school was Cupcake. I have a cupcake tattoo on my calf with rest in peace under it because everyone knew me as Cupcake. I was the funny fat guy. Like I really went hard into that stereotype because it made me comfortable. And then when I lost the weight, it was like I didn't really know who I was. And then I became the guy on YouTube that lost a lot of weight. And then I was like, okay, I guess that's who I am. And now I don't feel like that's exactly who I am anymore either, right? And so now I'm like, who am I, right? So I've been exploring that, you know, as you can tell, and it's been really weird for some people. It's been weird for me as well, but I'm still exploring who I am, and I'm almost freaking 30 years old. And so I just, you know, give people grace when it seems like they're changing a lot, quote unquote, right? That was kind of a tangent. I'm sorry.
I was Big Steve forever.
My whole life, I've been big rich, you know what I'm saying? And I have body dysmorphia. Well, I still see the dude that was 450 pounds in the mirror. People think that when you lose weight, like the battle's over, but there's a whole mental thing that you're supposed to address as well. And if you're struggling with weight, whether you want to get big or get small, just understand there's a mental aspect to it and you want to address that as well. And at the end of the day, love yourself, you know, be healthy, but there's more to it than just the physical, I would say.
So that's the video right there. I think that, honestly, it was one of the better ones that I've seen of this series. I think it's really awesome that they did this. I think there was just so many good points. But I'm kind of curious what y'all think about the video. I would love to hear your thoughts. I just think it's really interesting. So if you want to leave a comment, that would really be awesome. But again, thank you guys so much for watching the video, and I'll see you next time. Peace.